Good morning, everyone. I am Jeffrey Torres Pedrita, and my team are assigned to report about the elements of an art. So, the elements of an art are composed of the auditory, the combined, and the literary art. So, let me give you a short background of what is auditory. So, auditory art is the art that is heard at one particular time. Examples of auditory art include music and poetry. Next is the combined art. Combined art refer to events that combine a variety of media or materials which can be both seen or heard and exist in both space and time. So that is the combination of art. So the last is the literary art. The literary art has its own elements like drama, novel, poetry, biography, non-fictional, prose, epic, and short story. All of these type of literature have some elements. So, that is a short background of the combined, the auditory, and the literary art. So let's proceed to the presentation of its topic, which will be discussed of some of my group mates.
What is music? Music is an art form and cultural activity whose medium is sound. General definition of music include common elements such as pitch, rhythm, dynamics, and the sonic qualities of timbre and texture. What are the elements and principles of music? Principles of music are composed of composition, form, genre, harmony, rhythms, and texture. And elements are composed of duration, intensity, pitch, and timbre. Description of texture timbre in the terms of monophony, heterophony, polyphony, and homophony. Monophony. Monophonic music has only one melodic line with no harmony or counterpoint. Also, there may be rhythmic accompaniment but only one line that has specific pitches. Monophonic music can also be called monophony. Example of monophony: one person whistling a tone. Heterophony. A heterophonic texture is rare in Western music. In heterophony, there is only one melody, but different variations of it are being sung or played at the same time. Example of heterophony: choral music in which the parts have mostly the same rhythms at the same time is monophonic. Most traditional Protestant hymns and most barbershop quarter music is in their category. Polyphony. Polyphonic music can also be called polyphony. Counterpoint or contrapuntal music. If more than one independent melody is occurring at the same time, the music is polyphony. Example of polyphony: rounds, canons, and fugues are all polyphonic. Even if there's only one melody, if different people are singing or playing it at the different times, the parts sound independent. Homophony. Homophonic music can also be called homophony. Describing homophonic music, you may hear such terms of chords, accompaniment, harmony, or harmonize. Homophony has one clear melodic line. It's the line that naturally draws your attention. Melody. Melody, also tone, voice, or line, is a linear succession of musical tones that the listener perceives as a single entity. Example of melody: jazz musicians use the term lead or head to refer the main melody, which is used as a starting point for improvisation.
Let's define pitch. Pitch is a perceptual property of sounds that allows their ordering on a frequency-related scale. It's the quality that makes it possible to judge sounds as higher and lower in the sense associated with musical. So when we say pitch, pitch is how high or low a specific note sounds to the human ear. Pitch is the frequency of vibration as they go through sound waves. So if the vibration is faster, you're going to get a higher pitch. And if you have vibration that are slower, you're going to get a lower pitch. So the easiest way to understand pitch defines how high or low a sound is. Next is, what is sounds? Sounds are the vibrations that travel through the air or another medium and can be heard when they reach a person's or animal ears. Now, when we say sounds, sounds are all around us all the time. There are so many of them. All sounds are made through vibrations when something vibrates. It moves back and forth really fast that our eyes can see it, but other parts of our body can sense the vibration, and that is our ears. Sounds is produced when something vibrates. The vibrating body causes the medium around it to vibrate. Sounds is caused by the simple but rapid mechanical vibrations of various elastic bodies. These when move or struck so as to vibrate and communicate the same kind of vibrations to the auditory nerve of the ear then appreciated by the mind. So to understand it very well, anything that we hear around us are all sound. No, so these are the different types of sound: soft, loud, pleasant, unpleasant, musical. What is noise? Noise is unwanted sound considered unpleasant, loud, or disruptive to hearing. A sound that is loud or unpleasant that causes disturbance. Noise is form of sound that both comes from the vibrations through a medium such as air or water. Noise is characterized as an unpleasant, loud, and disturbance to hearing due to its annoying sound that produce. Next is rhythm. Rhythm is a strong, regular, repeated pattern of movement or sound. The systematic arrangement of musical sounds principally according to duration and periodic stress. So when we say rhythm, it is a regular recurring motion that regulates a succession of strong and weak elements. And also, rhythm is the movement with uniform pattern of a beat, accent, or like the music. What is texture? Texture is how the tempo, melodic, and harmonic materials are combined in a composition, thus determining the overall quality of the sound in a piece. So when we say texture, it's really all about how a sound is being organized. Texture is the combination of melody, harmony, and rhythm of a given piece. These materials combine in a composition to determine the overall quality of a sound in a piece. These are the types of texture. First is monophonic. Monophonic includes a single melodic line with no accompaniment, or in other words, one sound only. Second is biphonic. These are the two distinct lines, the lower sustaining a drone while the other leg creates a more elaborate melody. Third is polyphonic. Polyphonic, multiple melodic voices which are to considerable extent independent form in imitation with one another. Fourth is homophonic, multiple voices of which one the melody stands out prominently and the others from a background. Homorhythmic, multiple voices with similar rhythmic material in all parts, also known as chordal. Heterophonic, two or more voices simultaneously performing variations of the same melody. So next is timbre. Timbre is the character of a musical sound or voice as a distinct from its pitch and intensity. It is what makes a particular musical instrument or human voice have different sound from another. So we can say that timbre is type of sound that could be also described as a sound's uniqueness. For example, the unique sound of guitars is the guitar's timbre. The unique sound of my voice is my vocal timbre. And also, we can also say that instruments has its own unique timbre. Timbre establishes an understanding that we all have unique timbres in our own voice.
This is a report for tempo. Tempo, in musical terminology, for Italian is time, that is plural. Tempos or tempi from the Italian plural. So the speed of piece or given piece in classical tempo is typically indicated with an instruction at the start of piece, often using conventional Italian terms, and is usually measured in beats per minute or BPM. Tempo may be separated from articulation and matter of their aspect, may be indicated along with tempo, ali contributing for the overall texture. So we have a example for tempo. Like if you listen to the second hand on a clock, you will hear 60 ticks, or in a musical term, 60 beats in 1 minute. So that is also a tempo. So this is the tempo for us. In music, the dynamics of a piece is a variation in loudness between notes or phrases. Dynamics are indicated by specific musical notation, often in some data. However, dynamics markings still require interpretation by the performing depending on the musical context. For instance, a piano marking in one part of piece might have. So, dynamics is also focused in the variation in loudness between notes and phrases. So, we have an example for dynamics. Movement may also be classified as dynamic. So, that is dynamic for us. Expression. Musical expression, that element of musical performance which is something more than note. Western music, its pitch, the relative length of music. Factors such as speed of dynamics are usually indicated only by words or observations. So expression in art will be where did you will be express your feeling by using in art or making in art. So that is expression.
Of art is combined. What is dance? It is the movement of the body in a rhythmic way, usually to music rhythm, and is within the given space for a purpose of expressing an idea or emotion, releasing energy, or taking delight in the movement itself. So what is that? So dance is the movement of the body. So through dance we can express our ideas, emotion, or we can release our energy just to boost our own self-confidence. So let's go with the elements of dance. So the elements of dance here are body, action, space, energy, and time. So body. So body, it involves the parts of the body and how we move the body in movement. The movement is that we move our whole body, or with the body, it includes the patterns on how we move the body shapes of ours. So second is action, on how we put more effort just to execute the action. So space. Oh, it involves the place, direction, how we put focus, the relationship, diba? So space, direction, the place. So in executing the movements or the action of the dance, so we need space just to make the movement more efforts. Just so that we can give more efforts, so that we can execute it properly. So energy, just to complete our effort, so we need to boost our energy just to make the dance more beautiful, or even we can go with the flow in the music. So time, it is important because the duration, the speed, the beat. In dancing, we need to go with the flow, the rhythmic pattern, the speed, the beat, the timing, on how they are, the tempo, on how we dance. So in dancing, we need time just to have a duration, the beat, just to exit, just to make the dance fully, what we call this one, fully beautiful. So let's go with
types of dances. So we have traditional. There are two, folk and ethnic. Second is modern contemporary, cheer dance, festival dance, ballroom or recreational and competitive, hip hop and or street. So let's go with traditional, folk and ethnic. So in traditional, it has folk. So folk dance developed by the people on a certain region. So folk dance, it was developed in a certain region, just like Ubando Festival. So it was being celebrated it was being in a certain region. So in ethnic indigenous dance from a certain race in a country. So it is in our country, ethnic dance. So that is traditional. Modern dance so focuses on emotion and moods. Then the contemporary dance focuses on creating new techniques and movements. So we can see the comparison between the two, the modern and the contemporary dance. So the modern dance emotion is focuses only the emotions and moods, the moods of ours. Then the contemporary dance focuses on creating the new techniques. So we're creating a new techniques just to make our dance more comprehensible. So hip hop. Hip hop is it is originated with the cultural movement. It includes DJing, rapping, and gra- graffiti. So hip hop dance style it incorporates locking, popping, breaking. So hip hop is the most common for the millennials. So millennials mostly do hip hop. So the and the last one is festival dance. So festival dance is an organized event where dance performance is celebrated. So festival dance it involves like here in Bukidnon we celebrated Kaamulan Festival in giving a thanksgiving in our the golden harvest because Bukidnon is the city of the golden harvest just to give thanks. So also it is our cultural event. Our regional or national. It could be a festival dance can have a um, competition. So the types of dances is the most important in combined is that we can see the tribute of dance on how that art can be it could be a dance because through dancing we can express our emotions or we can make a new technique just to make the people more just to make new things then because we all know that not everyone can speak but through dancing or the movements of our body we can see the message of it by just dancing we can have the
Good day, everyone. I am now here to report my assigned topic, which is to define the theater and to define the elements of theater. And these two are also a part of combined arts. So now let us define what is theater. So, theater is the specific place of the performance is also named by the word theater, as derived from the ancient word Greek theatron, which means a place of viewing. So, meaning to say, theater is one of a place of viewing. So, aside from that, theater is one of the buildings where plays, show, and a performance on stage. So, another meaning of theater is it can be referred to a whole theatrical production, whereas dramas refers to the plays themselves. The next one is also, theater is a form of fine art that uses live performers. So it cannot be called as theater without the performers, or what we call the person who act on stage. Then, the performers may communicate this experience to the audience through combinations of gestures, speech, song, music, and dance. So these fives are a combination of a theater. So we can call these five, the gestures, the speech, the music, the song, and the dance. It can be called as combined art because these five are combined into a theater. Now, let us define what are the elements of theater. There are certain elements common to all theater. These elements are present whenever a theater event takes place. Without them, an event ceases to be theater and becomes a different art form and different experience. So here are the elements of theater. As you can see here, there are 6 elements of theater. Mention the performers, the audience, the director, the space, the visual arts, and the script. Now, let us define what is performer. So, performer is a type of people or person who are presenting the characters in dramatic action. Also, a performer is one who are portraying a character in the stage. Also, audience is one of the essence of the theater. It's the interaction between the performer and the audience. So that's why the audience is one of the important to the elements of theater. The third one is the director. Also, the director is one of the most important in the theater. So the role of the director is one who manage or the one who organized the said group of people who are included to present on stage. And then the fourth one is the space. So another necessary element of theater is the space, which performers or audience come together. So space, actors and actresses can be able to perform. So the fifth element of theater is the visual aspects. So when we talk about visual aspects, it's all about the costumes, the lightings, and the other scenic background. So they're the one who are assigned to prepare all of the necessary needed in the theater, especially the background sa theater stage. And then the last one element of theater is script. So script is one of the guide for the said performance. Also, script is a plan on how or what will happen on the performance. So that would be all. Once again, good morning, and I hope that all of you will understand the report. Thank you.
Hi, so my topic for this time is about cinema. Cinema as a part of combined arts. So what is cinema? Cinema or motion picture. It is defined as the art of moving images, created in the dusk of the 19th century. It is also a visual medium that tells stories and exposes reality. Cinema It is the world's most recent art form. It is also by far the world's most complex, collaborative, and costly artistic expression. The first to present project in moving pictures to a paying audience were the Lumiere brothers in December 1985 in Paris, France. So here is the sample picture of cinematography of Lumiere, the first cinematography in Paris, France. The elements of cinema. The first element of cinema is character. Creating an unforgettable, relatable, likable protagonist and making him or her face a ruthless, mean, unforgiving antagonist has been the most common recipe of several great stories. So in plot, whether it is the self-reflective, internal monologue of a novel or an adventure ride of a movie, the character, especially the protagonists, undertake an emotional or physical journey that causes some changes in them by the end. So that is the definition of plot. These are all examples of plot points. The plot can be thin or thick, but it is this that forms the body of your story. So as we can see in this image, the example of plot points is the beginning. The second is the rising action until the climax. The climax is known as the most thrilling part of the story. And then the falling action or the ending of the story. So that's it. Next is the conflict. It is the bread and butter of the drama. The more you can involve the audience into the conflicted situations of your characters, the more problems you can create for your protagonists and make them overcome those one by one, the more successful of your storytelling will be. So especially as a storyteller on film, we need to keep raising the tension and thickening the action to make sure the collective attention and interest of hundreds of people in the film and stays with us. Next element is resolution. A climatic resolution to the already thickening plot, a final confrontation of the protagonist with antagonistic forces, a final plot point that is dramatically, emotionally, and visually the high point of the film is very important to complete your movie experience. So that is the resolution. Next element is structure. A story should have a beginning, a middle, and an end, but not necessarily in that order. That is according to Jean-Luc Godard. This wonderful quote by Jean-Luc Godard in perhaps the simplest way to put across the importance of structure. Also, the pleasures of structure are more apparent and impactful in a movie than any other form of narration. Next, scenes. It is a building block of a screenplay. Its most basic unit has its own independent, whole existence. Everything that happens at one place at one time in the film is a scene. The moment you change the location or jump time, you have entered a new scene. Next is dialogue. Dialogue spoken lines are on the most conspicuous elements of film narrative. And if done well, smart and tasteful dialogue becomes an inseparable part of popular culture more successfully than any other story element of films. And lastly, the visuals. The most unique of all narrative elements discussed above is something that is most integral to motion pictures. And unless the film writer imagines it, great and unforgettable visuals will never be created. And if not for the visual splendor that cinema is, we would remain contented with the good old novels and fables and folktales. It is no wonder that cinema is the youngest human expression. That's it, and thank you.